Hello, and welcome back. We are once again in BeamNG Drive, and this time we're doing something a little bit different, because if you know me, you know I love all the off-road stuff that is available in BeamNG, and some of that is in paid mods. And I figured I'd showcase 2 paid mods for you today to give you a look as to what they're like and whether you might think they are worth paying for yourself. So, for the vehicle, we have this Ford Ranger made by Nix909. This is the Overland edition, and there are some other vehicles as well, Chevy, Dodge, etc. I picked the Ford because it was the first one on the list, but it looks nice, looks fun. And we are driving on Project Overland by Wrenchin Monkey, and both of these are available for a few dollars to either join a Patreon for a month or a few dollars for a download. I'll have links down below. And I figure we're just gonna take this. First of all, we're gonna lock these differentials trying to climb up this. But we're gonna take this up this trail. I don't really know where it leads, but I figured we'd talk about these mods on the way up. So now, you know, I'm all for throwing a couple bucks at creators that make high quality stuff. And I have to say, at least at first glance so far, I'm not disappointed in either of these purchases. If you're not an off-road person, they probably will not be the purchases for you. I found them both through the BeamNG Discord group. But the vehicle itself, I mean, it looks great. And once we get up here to a relatively flat part, I did take a look. The collision mesh is actually lined up, actually looks right. There's a lot of options. Even things like the lights up on the roof rack there. Let's see, we come down to body, go to roof rack, off-road lights. We can take the covers off and just have LED bulbs, and then when we do that, now they light up. Nice little features like that. Now, that being said, interior, it's nice enough. The dash cluster is just a Hirochi copied from something else. You know, it does have moving steering wheel and pedals. But, ooh, I should probably look where I'm going. But that's about where the interactivity ends. You know, the hood doesn't come up, the doors don't open, tailgate doesn't open. But, I mean, it's not bad. It's much better than a mesh lap. And I will tell you that the vehicles, at least what I've seen, you're not buying them for the interactivity. You're buying them for the off-road ability. And these things are pretty darn capable. So this is not even the rock crawler version. This is not the big off-road. This is the overland version. And from what I've driven, let me put lock the diffs and put it into low gear. What I've driven, this thing is quite capable. I mean, that's a pretty steep little hill there, and had some sliding, but no real issue. The suspension is absolutely great. Wheels and tires are great. And I know Nix has wheels and tires that can be put on vanilla vehicles as well. Some of the stuff I think is free, some of it is paid only. I know the map here is paid only, but tell you what, this is probably the nicest looking off-roader map that I've seen. Don't get me wrong, I love myself some Johnson Valley, but seeing some greenery and some trees and some, you know, nice looking rocks, definitely a fan of that. Now, the map is a good size. There's not a ton of trails, but there's enough, and it looks like they vary in difficulty. Oh, I got a little campsite over here. Nice. Okay, here's the question. Do the tents have collision? I'm going to guess that they do, but there's only one real way to find out. Nope, they do not. Oh, boo. Oh, wait. Oh, it has a kind of collision like bushes do, doesn't it? It does. That's an interesting choice. So, that once again, that's not what this is made for. This is made for going with your buddies, finding a trail, trying to make it from the bottom to the top of the trail without having to reset. Just going off-road and seeing how good you can handle the stuff. Now, I'm thinking it might be fun to try to take one of these maps that I've downloaded, one of these vehicles I've downloaded, and sit myself in the sim rig and try doing some rock crawling in the sim rig. Because I have not done that since I got the motion set up. And I think that could be interesting. I don't know if it'll make for a good video, but I know I would have fun doing it. So maybe we'll try to pull that together. But in the meantime, this vehicle, like I said, the collision triangles on this vehicle lined up pretty good. The mesh looks nice. There are obviously some things that could be better. It's not dev quality. But, I mean, it is really hard to argue with how good this thing can handle all of this. I mean, that just looks, it looks in place. It looks right. Which, that is about the best compliment I can give to a BeamNG mod, is when things just look like they are supposed to be there. This looks like it's supposed to be out in the wilderness. I have no clue where we're going, by the way. I am just going for a ride. There was a place there where I could have made a sharp right turn instead of turning left. Ooh, I'm starting to think maybe I should have done that. But we turned this way, so we're gonna go this way and see. Oh, see where can we go anywhere from here? My parking brake isn't strong enough. There we go. So we'll take a moment here to zoom out. Okay, so we can cross over that and up. Oh, wow. So just for a sense of scale on the map. Okay, that's a weird little thing. The water level obviously is down at the river, but then with the LOD, whenever you get far enough, the water goes up and it floods. Interesting. Not sure what causes that. But, as you can see there, this is like the normal starting point back here is gas station. And, you know, they have it kind of set up with a few different trails, and then there's just a bunch of random trails all throughout this. It's not bad. Different difficulty, actual paved trails, and just areas that you could just go off-roading yourself. So we're going to try to make it across this. And this is, I don't know, we're asking a lot from this truck. Can we get that tire up there? And we made it through. Whew. So I told you, this thing is a lot more capable, probably than it should be. Alrighty. Well, that is not ideal that we don't really fit on two of these at the same time, do we? Oh, if we go all the way like that and just slowly. Oh man, look at that. Oop. That might be a that might be the thumbnail there, or even looking off this direction. I'll have to come back and revisit that. That is pretty neat. So, is this a map that's going to give you, you know, hundreds of hours of exploring? Probably not. But I'm definitely going to be spending hours upon hours exploring this. And I'm going to try to convince some of my friends, maybe Z-Man or Cosmo, pick up this map as well so we can do some multiplayer on it. Now, being a paid map, you cannot do a public multiplayer, because do a public multiplayer server, then anyone can just go and download and keep the map even without having paid for it. But if I get some people that I know have purchased the map or otherwise get access to it legally, you know, if I reach out to the creator, maybe we can get a private server for some of us to do a little wheeling on. Oh, caught my rear diff. Ooh, that did not sound pleasant. Luckily, it's not my real truck. And this is why I don't have a big off-roader for my daily driver, because every time I heard a noise like that in real life, knowing that I had to pay to fix it before I could go to work on Monday, oh, that would just make me cry a bit on the inside and maybe on the outside. Alright, so we gotta get around that rock. There we go. And that's what I love about rock crawling and other off-road stuff, is just trying to figure out, okay, how, with the equipment we have, how do we make this work? Oh, and speaking of that, I may have just high-centered myself completely. Can I get out of that? Alright. We high-centered ourselves last time we did this, so we're going to get it. Oh! A little bit too much there. Dent up the front little bash bar there. It's alright, that's what it's there for. Looks like my door's a little bent as well. Oh, my back bumper is bent as well. I'm causing all sorts of damage here. Yeah, I could not afford to do that in real life. Well, I could afford to cause the damage, I could not afford to fix the damage. So, if any of you have an off-road vehicle and you want me to drive it, but then you pay to fix it, well, reach out to me. We'll make this happen. But in the meantime, I think I'll stick to doing this virtually where I don't have to pay, because it looks expensive. Ooh, and sounds expensive. So, yeah. Overall, I'm really happy with this map, and I am very surprised with this vehicle. I mean, this thing is handling this trail, no real issue. I mean, a little bit of damage, but just some tattoos of the trails it's been on, that's all. And that suspension, I just can't get over it. It is capable without being over the top ridiculous. At least in my opinion. I mean, you know me, I'm not a big car guy, so maybe it is ridiculous and not something that's realistic at all. But based on what I've seen, everything seems to be pretty true to life with these vehicle mods, so I would assume that they did it in a way that's actually realistic. To some extent, at least. So, we're going to just come up here. And I could probably keep going for another hour or two. And actually, once I stop recording, I might. But before I do that, I just wanted to... Let's go find a spot over here in the sun. And show you some of the other vehicles and what other options we have. I mean, this thing did well. It did well. Alright, so at the bottom you see the Ford Ranger. This is what we had, the 83 Ford Ranger. We were doing the extended cab, overland, pre-runner, default, crawlers, and regular 4x4s. And then we have similar things for the Chevy, Dodge Dakota, Chevy K-Series, and Bouncer. And I mean, the Bouncer is obviously purpose-built off-road. These other ones, well, you can see all sorts of different styles. We can go to a nice K5 Overland here. I like the Overland. In real life, I can only think of a few situations where having... it's going to take a second for the textures to load because it's the first time I'm loading these textures, and they're high-quality textures. It takes a moment. But I can see some, just a few areas where it actually makes sense to have your tent up on your truck like that. For the most part, if you have a place where you can put your truck on flat ground, you probably have a place where you can put a tent on flat ground. So most of the time, it's probably not worth the extra money. But I do have to say, I think they do look pretty neat. They look fun. I just don't know how practical they are for most people that own them. But once again, in a game like this, I don't have to worry about practical because it's not my money. So, lots of vehicles, and we're gonna actually just, let's see, if I just send it this way, I'm assuming there's a big hill on the other side of that, and we're gonna see what the crash model is like, hopefully. Assuming there is a hill I can fall down here. Oh, that might just be the edge of the map. That is the edge of the map. All right. Well, we're going to go elsewhere and see what the crash model is like. Let's come up to the top here. Work on this cell phone tower. And then, whoops, I made a wrong turn. Look out below. So, decent crash model. See, the hood actually popped up on this one. This one might have had an openable hood up. Take a look at that. Body panels, a little rough. There's some areas that are bending a little weird. But for minor crashes, not a big deal. It does not appear to have an operable hood. There's no buttons on the inside here. Now, what about for a bigger crash? So you can start to see some of the limitations on the crash model. Obviously, here we'll fly somewhere and drop this somewhere flat. Obviously, some parts are decent, some parts are a little weird. You got a frame poking through the bed folding in a weird way. But I don't think any of it's bad enough to really affect my playability. I think it's all good enough. And I haven't tried on this one, but I assume it's the same on this as it was on the other. That the snorkel is actually usable. So you can get water all the way up to the snorkel inlet before you start putting water in the engine. So, yeah. So overall, if you are into off-roading like I am, I'd say these might be worth the money. Now, I will say the map, I'm definitely enjoying the map. Definitely like that. The vehicles, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they do not have actual approval for using these actual models. So if that's something that bothers you, then maybe steer clear of that. But they do a great job, and they do have some that are obviously not based off of real vehicles. So there are options. So as I said, I'll have links down below if you want to check these out on your own. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about paid mods? Do you have any? Do you find them worth it? Do you wish there weren't any? What do you think is the right amount to spend on a mod? I personally like the $2 to $4 for a high quality vehicle, or for a couple medium quality vehicles. Maps, a couple bucks for a high quality map for early access. I'm fine with that. But let me know your thoughts. And with that, I will say thank you for watching, and I'll see you out on the trails. Peace.